Hello, cubs, and welcome back to the Cozy Den. We are returning still to Kingdom Come Deliverance as we continue to explore the in-game lore through its literature. Moving on today, we have another two-part story, which is the Maiden's War. Upon the death of Princess Libus, the maidens who had enjoyed her accompaniment found that they were no longer held in the great esteem they had once enjoyed. They recalled how their princess had ruled over the male part of the tribe, and when the menfolk said unto them, "Hark, you have ruled over us. We have bowed before you, and now you seem as sheep that have gone astray." Their anger rose greatly. And the anger of the women and maidens having caught fire, the females of the tribe took up spears and swords, and waged war against the men under the command of Vlasta, Libus's attendant of the highest standing. On her command, they built the castle at Devon, and then dispersed throughout the land to call into service all women to wage war against their husbands and brothers. Yet, hardly a soul took them seriously. And it was with great mirth that the men did observe these girls taking up arms and learning to saddle horses. However, Premisil, the wise ruler that he was, did not find merriment in these actions, and warned his men to broker a peace. His warnings were not heeded, and they set out to Devon in great merriment. But alas, the women did not flee. With Vlasta in their lead, they charged out of the gate, chainmail on their bodies, helmets on their heads, and spears aimed to kill. "If we allow ourselves to be vanquished," called out Vlasta, "it will be then that the men shall laugh at us. We shall become their servants and slaves, for it is better to die than to give up. Strike at the men, at each and every one, be he brother or father." And the Furies then did set upon them, until 300 men lay dead in their own blood, and the rest had fled. When news of this victory had spread throughout the land, other women did not falter, and came straight forth to Devon. And hence the men were greatly aggrieved at home, for they were alone. And they were aggrieved on the battlefield as well, for the women gave them no quarter, sparing neither brother nor father. And the women of their warring oft employed deceit and ambuscade. Here, under the guise of a lover, one slit the throat of a young maid. There another, feigning to be a respectable daughter, her own father in his own home did stab. One day, Tirad, who did in combat slay a great number of Vlasta's she-warriors, set off with a company of his men, and did with their own ears hear a mournful cry, and did see with their own eyes a beautiful girl chained nearby a rock. A hunter's horn, hanging from her neck, who entreated them to show unto her mercy and to free her from her bonds. Tirad, having cast aside all caution, dismounted and did draw near to the girl to set her free. The girl gave thanks unto him and did relay to him that she was called Sharka, and that the women of Devon had hung the horn upon her neck for her to call for help. And before her they sat a vessel of mead, for her agony to stoke, as she died of thirst. He comforted her, and together they conversed, until the entire company was overcome by sleep, and Tirad, emboldened by the mead and the delicate voice of Sharka, the horn did grasp and blow it with full force of his lungs. Forthwith a storm did arise, a cry rang out, and from all sides did ascend upon them bands of armed women, and having slayed all the men, put Tirad into the restraints from which he had ere freed Sharka. She stood above him, laughing. In the morn, for to mock the men, a great wheel was brought out in front of Devon, and in its spokes was woven the broken body of Tirad. When the other men had received news of this happening, young and old from all corners of the land sprang forth to avenge his tortuous death. None had ever seen such an army as the one that then laid siege to Devon and soon conquered it. Many girls fell upon that day, and many more fled, never to be seen again. Those that survived begged their brothers and fathers for forgiveness, yet spared they were not. When the men had slain the girl's army in its entirety, then they took to destroying Devon, until all that remained was dust. And thus ended this time of strife. And thus ends another fascinating tale through the history and lore surrounding Kingdom Come Deliverance. So I hope you've enjoyed this fascinating tale, and also hope that no one thinks of taking up arms against this little fox either. I promise. I'm not going to build a castle. I'm happy with my den. Alright, my cubs, until next time, stay cozy.